The Rewind
Sports 60. From the city of big shoulders, the jewel of the Midwest, comes a sports show that's one of a kind. From iconic players to iconic stadiums to iconic teams, this is my kind of town. Chicago! And the Rewind Sports 60 is my kind of show. From Air Jordan to Sweetness to Papa Bear Hallis, this city works hard, but plays even harder. Danny Carlino and Jerry Riles bring you the Rewind Sports 60. Live. The Rewind Sports 60 starts now.
Good evening, everybody. It is the Rewind Sports, 8:20 a.m., the fastest hour in sports, and we are here under unprecedented times. I mean, everybody's in the studio, so that's a plus. A little something is possibly going on. I'm not sure, but the fact that I have my gloves on and a contraption over the mic might tell you something is going on. Just a little bit. Okay, you got what you got?
I got something too. I'm gonna put this on it too.
Okay, all right. Yes, everybody. So we're here with the fastest hour of sports. I'm Lauren Cox, your host today with CN 100, and I'm here with my distinguished panel. Hey. Everybody's here today, so that's phenomenal. You know him, you love him, the marvelous one, Dan Marver. How are you today?
How are you, Lauren? You got me first. Now, first we have to wash hands. Cough into your elbow. Don't touch it. Stay more than 3 feet apart.
Okay.
If you feel sick, stay home.
Okay. Yes.
Check. Tell you about my week. Now I'm nervous. I mean, up until Wednesday, until Rudy Gobert got sick, I don't think anything was going to be canceled.
Right.
Then minutes later, NBA, next day NCAA, and my high school games that I love were canceled.
Absolutely.
So I have a big void, and I don't know how I'm going to handle it. I think the psychiatrist might be the best beneficiaries.
Or alcohol. That would work. Both.
Yeah.
All of that.
Yeah,
yes.
There you go.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you later about all these things that you're missing.
I know.
The high school and the NCAA and all of that. I cannot believe it.
It's my favorite 2 weeks. Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, March Madness. Are you kidding me? Yes. But next, I have my partner in crime, 10-year NFL veteran, former Chicago Bear. Yep. Artist extraordinaire, 17th letter, Q.
Go ahead. Hey, Jerry, you fine.
Jerry, you fine. Going on, Q.
Hey, Miss Cox, you the host now. What's up, man?
How are you?
I'm doing well, Lauren.
Okay. What's your corona? How are you managing these times?
I just pray. I just pray because I don't have any answers for this.
No, you don't.
Just try to pray. Stay safe.
I hear you. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're gonna stay safe, and we want to hear more about the CBA and all of that. A lot going on.
Yes,
a lot of things halted, but still a lot going on. And we have our fearless leader, who's back with a fresh tan. We want to hear everything that happened with this Hawaii trip because you were supposed to be gone, but you're here. So I need to understand what's going on, but it is our favorite, Jerry Riles. Hi, Jerry.
What's up, Lauren?
Glad to have you back.
It's good to be back. I missed all you guys. Q, the 17th letter of the alphabet. Good to see you, brother.
You too, bro.
And of course, the marvelous one. I feel bad. I feel bad because, not only the cancellations regarding the coronavirus and COVID-19, but the fact that it hit the prep level, marvelous. And this is your time of year.
I had tickets. I was going to the game Friday, and then they were going to have no people and then no game. So it's unbelievable.
It's Lauren, I had to come back.
How was that travel situation coming back?
For me, it was fine.
Really?
It was like business as usual.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was business as usual. Yeah. But of course, within 24 to 36 hours, it was chaos and mayhem.
Yeah.
So I really avoided it. But before we get into that, Lauren, I got to tell you, Q said it. Hey, Jerry! All right! You're fired, buddy! Take a back seat.
No, Jerry,
Let me tell you something. Well, I guess I have to take a co-pilot seat or something because, Lauren, you were filling in, and again, it was commendable, and congratulations to all the beautiful women out there. International Women's Day and Week. Fantastic.
I know, it was
God
so
bless
perfect,
you.
Right? It just worked out. God just aligned it like that.
God does what he does. Yes. He shows up and shows out, right? And I got to tell you, Lauren, man, you rocked it.
Thank you.
You rocked Chicago last week. You rocked it. And Chicago sports world, I'm telling you, Lauren Cox, if you weren't on the map, you are on the map. You are rocking it.
Good.
And so I said, Q, I said, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Whenever you're dealing, marvelous one, and we got to say kudos to Devin Tingle, who's running the show and handling things. He is
almost
awesome.
made me have a heart attack.
But let me tell you something. It took me, I've been married for like 31, 32 years, right? And I'm telling you, Lauren, and I have 2 beautiful daughters.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you something. Q, I don't know about you. Marvelous, I don't know about you. But it's taken me almost that long to understand and humble myself and appreciate the work that women do.
Wow.
Because, we raised as, being men and macho man, right?
Yeah.
Hey, man, step out of the way and let the women handle the work. Yeah. They get the job done. And I'm just saying.
What James Brown say, right? It's a man's world, but it means nothing without a woman's touch.
Yes,
boom!
Yes.
And we got the woman's touch right here, Lauren. I swear to you, you rocked it. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much. I had so much
to show
fun.
my appreciation to all of you guys and girls, I missed you. We brought you back souvenirs.
Yes.
You don't have to disinfect it.
You don't have to.
Let's
get ladies first.
Thank you.
Well, you can disinfect it if you want, Lauren Cox. But we're contagious, but not in that manner.
Okay.
We're contagious, but not in that manner.
Awesome.
You guys are watching our Facebook Live. There you go. Marvelous.
Thanks, Jerry. You give me a lay.
There you go.
Hey.
Just a lay.
Hey, everybody gets laid. Come on now. Hey, Devin, you get laid too. Get on in there, buddy. But I said I have to bring something back to show appreciation for you guys. Every Sunday coming in here handling the show, WCPT 820 AM. Devin, you get laid, buddy. There you go. And of course, but Lauren, thank you so very much.
Welcome.
You did a fantastic job.
Thank you so much.
We got a lot on the plate, so let's get rolling.
We do. So, in these times with sports, how it just basically just got yanked from under us is still a lot to talk about. And the CBA obviously is one of the biggest topics pretty much that everybody's talking about now. They came to an agreement. The NFLPA, they voted yes for this agreement. What was interesting was that 500 players didn't vote.
Right.
And the vote only passed by 60 players. So, Q, you being a 10-year NFL vet, talk to me about the CBA. I mean, there was an acrimonious relationship between the players. It really seemed like that's where a lot of the drama stemmed from this time. I just found it so odd that they just accept this agreement. Like, I mean, I don't know, but for me, I feel like what happened to the negotiation? So definitely want to hear your thoughts.
Well, it's like it's pros and cons of any agreement that's going to be made. Like, we can't satisfy everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, and you're talking about like 500 players didn't vote, but like the ones that did still voted yes. So,
but only by 6. Like, it was only a 60.
So why is there so many voting yes if it's bad for us? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the 500 players are guys that like on the bottom of the top, like bottom of the, making the roster like every year. You know what I'm saying? So like they ain't voting. They ain't worried about voting. They just want to play. Like, I don't care about this vote. Either way, I got to feed my family. I don't want to be locked out. I got to get to this check. So y'all handle that and just call me when it's time to play. You know what I'm saying? So like, and I just think like it's like 2020 because the players before us would say, man, they got a hell of a deal. You feel me what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and when I came in, we was doing 2 a days. We hitting every day, all day, every day.
Right.
And now it's like you don't have to like have pads in training camp. Like it's gonna be a soft league. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like it's pros and cons of both. Like, it just depends on how you see it.
Dan, what do you think? I know some of the things where they expanded the season to 17 games.
Amazing to me is that it goes to 2030, and most of the people who voted won't be there then. That's one point. The other point is now they're going to have just the number 1 seed get a bye. Then they're going to have 2 games on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, and a Monday night game to get the 6 games in the first week because there'll be 6 games instead of 4 in that wild card weekend. So that's a big change. Obviously they're going to expand the number of games played, but it won't be till 2021. And then there's the issue 17 games. Who gets the odd game at home? there's going to be somebody
Yeah.
that gets more home games than road games. And, of course, they're pushing for 18, but that can't be done until the new agreement in 10 years, apparently.
Right.
So I was surprised, in a way that it got approved, in the manner that it was. But I think that it's good to have peace so they don't have a strike.
Yeah.
My thing is like the people for like the former players, it really hurt us because it's like they cut our disabilities in half. You know what I'm saying? That really, like, it's some players out there really surviving off the disabilities. And like, even if you've been out 10 years, they cut it in half.
And it's automatic, right?
Automatic. Like it starts in 2021. It's like, dang, you know what I mean? Like,
So your benefits, I'm sorry, so your benefits are cut
they cut
in half
drastically
with this new CBA
Yeah, for former players.
for
Yeah.
former players.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
not right.
No, not at all.
And we don't even get like health care for our whole life. We still got 5 years of health care after we finish. You know what I'm saying? So it's not really good for the former players. And then, we didn't have a vote either. You know what I mean? It's
Right,
it's all active players, but the former players, they have a vote.
That's crazy.
And they take the biggest hit, too. You know what I mean? So it's just like, that's why I don't like it at. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So are you, and I'm just,
Yeah.
because, for us lay people out here, observing what's going on.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the average fan just wants football to be played.
Exactly.
Right? They want to see their football on Sunday, Thursday night, Friday, Monday night, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But are you suggesting, or maybe I'm suggesting that the players that voted in favor of this is just kind of like greed and they're looking out for themselves because they get a bump in pay?
Yeah.
I think it's
bump in pay.
I think it's most of the guys who are well off. You know what I mean? That's kind of like that ain't really got to struggle to make the team, or that's got some good money in their pocket saving their money. I don't know how it went down. I don't know who voted, but I just know like either way it goes, it's gonna be pros and cons. You know what I mean? It's gonna hurt somebody either way it goes.
What about the sentiment that a lot of the players felt like the league was getting over, basically?
Yeah.
And, like that was a big issue in terms of wanting to negotiate and use your bargaining power, so to speak.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that pretty much the owners got over?
Yeah, they definitely knew what they were doing. Like, they knew that like people weren't gonna vote. They know half the league wasn't gonna vote because half the league is just it's about the guys that's trying to they just trying to get some money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they knew they're gonna win. Like, they knew it. They would give them a little bit increase in pay. A lot of them smoke weed now, which probably was like, a lot of players are probably like, that's all I need anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just, it's just one of those things. Like, people don't see the big picture. And I can't blame them because, like, you got to live in the present moment.
Right.
You can't be thinking about 10 years from now while you in the league, so, like, I don't know. It's just like a lot of ins and outs.
And if if they went and just decided to negotiate too much, then they could go into a strike. And, especially with these times, people were really afraid about that possibility. So more to see in terms of how things are going to flow and what the aftermath is going to be, because they were saying it could be some players, disharmony, and maybe it's good that they're going to take some time off so they don't have to be in the locker room, those who were adamantly for and then adamantly against it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so speaking about the NFL too, free agency, speaking of free agency, that's another thing too. I think it starts, Wednesday? And they were saying, like, are they going to continue, is the NFL going to just continue business as usual? How could they? How are players going to go see the teams? What are your thoughts, Dan?
It will affect the draft too,
Sure.
I think, because they won't be able to have as many, pre-camp drills,
Right.
where they evaluate the players. So I believe that the draft is in April. It's like a little over a month off. So that may be in jeopardy too, because the way it looks to me is I'm not sure the NBA or the NHL are going to be able to finish their seasons and have a playoffs, and baseball may not be able to have more than half a season, because I feel it looks to me as though that business won't, the usual for the sports won't be in April. It will be later than that, May, June, July, who knows?
May Madness.
Yeah. I mean, that we were talking, Q and I were talking before the show that we know the players in the National Basketball Association who tested positive to the coronavirus, but now the New York Yankees have a minor league player that tested positive. So,
oh boy.
If it hit the minor league system, Lauren, you can expect it's going to eventually make its way to the major league level. And we know that Charles Barkley self-quarantined himself after coming in contact with the Los Angeles Angels.
Right.
And you don't know right now. They haven't developed a test, and they're supposed to come out with that. They're behind the curve in testing. So there are people that are carrying it, maybe even in a minor way, and you don't know it.
Well, Donovan Mitchell with the Utah Jazz was diagnosed positively with it, and he showed no symptoms.
Exactly.
He showed no symptoms.
That's the scary part right there.
Right. That's the scary part, and it's we got to educate ourselves. There's no question about it.
Sure.
But we have to be, aware of what's going on also. And shame on any body or any people or any agencies that are putting out false information.
Right.
But there's been a report that has come out to say that Canada has already come up with a vaccine, something to counter the virus.
Sure.
But it's not going to be available until November 2021.
Oh, please.
Because it takes it's a process, and it takes some time in order to get that. And it's not confirmation, but those are reports that are out there currently right now. But the simplest thing, and you and I, again, Q, we talked about this, the simplest thing for people to do, Lauren, is do what you've already should have been doing prior to this by washing your hands.
Right, yeah. Right? I talked about that 2 weeks ago.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, wash your hands. And if you believe in a higher being, say your prayers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. After you wash your hands.
Well, maybe before, too.
Before and
throughout, during the whole thing, yes. Absolutely. And that's the thing. It's like, one thing, the positive thing that I was thinking is going to come out of this is that people are going to start adopting better hygiene and sanitary habits. And that is really going to help us a lot in the long run. I mean, I was always the person who was like wiping my shopping cart down with wipes and stuff like that. But, everybody could benefit from an increased level of hygiene and sanitary conditions. So.
Yeah,
I like those words.
Yeah, I mean, everyone certainly can benefit from that, unfortunately. Again, because you learn this hopefully you learned it in preschool and kindergarten, right? Hopefully, Lauren, but evidently some people get away from that.
Exactly.
But the biggest concern as far as, this virus is, nationally. Mm-hmm. There are airports. Luckily, I flew in and I was fine and everything was okay.
Okay.
No chaos. But within 24 to 36 hours later, it was chaos. And the three major airports, LAX, Chicago, and, of course, JFK in New York. Mm-hmm. And here in Chicago, it's been reported that flights coming in internationally took passengers upwards of 5 hours to get off the plane, get their baggage, get through customs and all of that, and finally make it to their, wherever they were going. And you talk about the distance between people. Mm-hmm. If you've seen the visuals and the pictures and the video,
Petri dish.
Man, they are stacked on top of each other, Q.
Really?
They are stacked on top of each other. And again, the lines are insane, Marvelous. It's so. And if one person, Lauren, in that group at O'Hare Airport, and the Governor Pritzker was up. He and Lori Lightfoot, they were on fire.
I know.
They were on fire because the president was like, y'all dissed
all those
me.
People, they were coming from Europe.
Lauren,
per his instructions.
The president said, hey, y'all dissed me a few months ago with this, Chicago police, all the. Remember, y'all didn't show up? Lori, you had better things to do? Okay. You got an issue?
Too bad.
Don't call us.
Yeah.
We'll call you.
See?
Oh, my.
That's
but
Chicago.
If one person had it there,
everybody's got it.
Aye.
Don't scare me like that.
I'm not trying to scare
Fear
you.
is not
I'm trying to inform
here.
you.
Well, thank you.
Fear is not welcome here.
Thank you for the information.
Right, I mean,
no fear.
But worldwide, it's pretty bad. The death toll is more than 6,000. They have 62 deaths in the U.S. so far. Confirmed cases 3,200, and according to Anthony Fauci, it's going to spike. So it's scary.
My thing is, where the vaccines at? What are we gonna do about it? What are we doing about it?
They just not
They're
releasing
working on it, man.
I think they
it doesn't work overnight. You got to go through the Food and Drug Administration, everything else to get.
We
it
shut
out
down
there.
stores tomorrow in Chicago too.
Yeah, Lauren, did you hear about this? The Governor Pritzker, they shut down bars and restaurants beginning tomorrow, Monday.
No.
For the rest of the for dine in.
St. Patrick's Day.
For dine in.
You gotta cook.
For dine in.
What
Now
about
you can
the
order.
bars?
The bars are closed too.
Well, they said you can have 100 people and like half
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
They took it to another level, huh?
Beginning tomorrow, Monday, I believe Monday night.
Yeah, I think tomorrow's the last day, and then after that, I'm pretty sure.
Until
and then
the 30th.
no restaurants
For dine in.
Right.
For dine in. Now you have to order, or I guess you can
Go pick it up.
Man, if you're a Uber driver, Uber Eats and all that.
DoorDash.
Yeah. You might be making a killing.
This is crazy.
No pun intended, of course. I know. I didn't mean that in jest. But you
Right.
may be
I was just at dinner the other night. People was eating steak and drinking wine. It was no problem.
Well, I don't. One of our great sponsors who've been a great supporter of the Rewind Sports 60, that of course Serenello's, which is a Let Us Entertain You a restaurant out in Wheeling. I talked with them 2 weeks ago before I left for my break, and they told me that business was down 22%.
Yeah,
wow, it was down 22%. That's 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Now it's really going to. The industry is really going to take a hit.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
It's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
I mean, at a certain point.
Yeah, the official thing is at the close of business tomorrow until March 30th for the restaurants.
Okay.
Yeah, so they'll be open tomorrow. So you have to go there and then carry out everything
for STK
for 2 weeks.
I got to go to Sunda and STK.
Yeah. Well, the one thing, real quick, Lauren, and we're going to have to take a break real quick, but I want to commend the Chicago Bulls organization and the Chicago Blackhawk organization for picking up the tabs of their workers.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. Yeah.
They're going to pick up the tab for their workers. The Chicago Bears I think they're jumping in as well. We haven't heard anything from the Chicago Cubs, but it's a statement from Rocky Wirtz and Jerry Riles. The United Center ownership of the Chicago Bulls and Chicago Blackhawks, on behalf of our front offices and players, will pay day of game employees through the remainder of the original scheduled season.
That's awesome.
Our employees, whether they be front office staff or approximately 1,200 day of game staff, are family, and we will navigate this unprecedented situation together. That's from the Blackhawk organization. Of course, a statement from Rocky Wirtz, the owner, and of course, Jerry Reinsdorf, the chairman of the Chicago Bulls. So they're doing their part to help those out. And we talked about some of the players around the
NBA.
The sports world. Yeah, the NBA players are jumping in.
Absolutely.
Giannis Antetokounmpo with the Milwaukee Bucks, Zion Williamson with the Pelicans. We know that Rudy Gobert. Now, before we take our time out, let's talk about Rudy Gobert.
He's wrong.
He was sitting down somewhere.
Playing around.
Sit down somewhere.
That's not going to work.
Why
would you do that?
Let me know when it gets to me.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Marvel.
Knock him out.
Well, I will give him credit to the extent that he's giving $100,000 to the both the Jazz and the Thunder for their employees, and he's giving $100,000 to fight the coronavirus in both the USA and France, where he's from. But on Monday, after the shoot-around, he thought it was pretty amusing that he would touch every microphone that the reporters had after the shoot-around. And then, they play games Wednesday. That was the first diagnosis on Wednesday, and therefore maybe he did everybody a favor.
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
I mean, in retrospect, but at the time I said, this guy should be fined or suspended, for what he did. But I pulled back a little bit now because he's come up with the $500,000 and he made it so that the league stopped playing. So maybe it was a good thing.
That's when things really shifted and people were like, okay, for real, seriously.
Wednesday they played the Big East tournament, the Paul Bleed Xavier, and then Thursday they started the next round with St. John's playing Creighton. They played half a game, and Rutgers and Michigan were on the floor, and the high school game between Hinsdale South and Bennett was scheduled Thursday, and that was about the end of it. There were no more games after that. It was crazy.
Q, what did you think?
Rudy, sit down somewhere, Rudy. Stop playing with me, man. I don't know, man. I just think it was immature. I know he didn't mean anything by it, but I'm like, bro, don't play like that, bro.
No.
Like, that's kind of corny, man. Like, come on, man.
It was just extremely ironic, actually.
Yeah, Marvelous and I went back and forth because Marvelous brought it to my attention and said that he thought that Rudy should be
fined.
Punished.
And he said punished, and I was like, well, I think that's a little extreme.
Yeah.
I said he was stupid.
Yeah.
He was. That was childish.
Childish.
That was immature.
Immature, for sure.
But to the point, I don't think. And you asked me,
he saved all our lives now.
With that
so it's
silly,
good and bad. Yeah.
With that silly act, he
was the catalyst.
Again, because his teammate Donovan Mitchell was diagnosed and didn't even. You guys saw the video when they canceled the game.
Yeah.
Donovan had his jersey over his mouth and his nose.
Right.
And little did he know, he tested positive.
Well,
Yeah.
That's the other thing. How come they could be tested so quickly when there aren't any tests out there?
Exactly. And they got 58.
Because as they say, money talk, man.
Absolutely.
Money talk. If you, I mean, you're your own business, your own entity, and you're multimillionaire.
Right.
You
can make it happen.
You make things happen. And the owners, of course, that's their investment.
But like I say, I feel better now that he gave $500,000 to, as I stated. So I guess there was more of guilt than anything else, probably.
Absolutely. And then the Pistons center, Christian Wood, who was covering him, 30 points and 11 rebounds. He is the third player that has it now. So.
Right, exactly. So that's the
punishing
interesting
him
thing.
for doing his job good.
Yeah.
Now, come on.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, Lauren, because, and we're going to take a short time out. We're going to have to regroup and get everything together. But that's the thing. If Rudy, and you said, is he a hero? Had he not done that, who knows how many other players, because the Utah Jazz, that whole locker room, they were pissed off.
Right.
Yeah. But if he didn't do that, how many other teams that he had come in contact with? And leading up to it, they said, what, in 10 days, like 6 teams or something like that?
And they would have played the game.
Right, exactly.
And just let me know if you want me to do the scoreboard update today.
And C.J. McCollum with the Portland Trail Blazers, before this even happened, he said he was going to stop signing autographs. Mm-hmm. He wasn't going to take any pins, wasn't going to take any photos, wasn't going to take anything with the fans.
Sure.
Because he simply didn't know.
Right.
He simply didn't know. You want to do a scoreboard update? Gabe Salgado is all.
Yeah. Okay, that's it.
Ain't no scores.
Back to you.
Ain't no scores. Back to you.
It's rugby on TV.
Go ahead, Lauren Cox.
Yeah, so we'll be back after this quick break. Rewind Sports.
You're watching the Rewind Sports 60. Go Bucks! Woo!
It's the end of the quarter. Time for a break in the action. The hottest sports panel in Chicago will get back to the fast-paced action, streaming live on Facebook Live. We're back at it after this quick timeout. So don't you dare touch that iPhone, Android, iPad, Mac, or PC. Lock it in.
Please have a seat. I'll be honest. Your resume is not what I'm used to.
I know.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need a hard worker.
Good. I've got 2 part-time jobs and to help my parents pay the bills.
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find, cultivate, and train a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
If it's Chicago sports you want, you're in the right place.
Hello, Chicago!
The Rewind Sports 60.
That's the best in the city of Chicago.
Welcome back to the Rewind Sports 60 live with the best sports panel in Chicago. Lock it in.
Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Rudy Gobert. Just wanted to give you guys a little update. I'm going to start by saying thank you to all the people that have been supportive and for all the positive energy. It really means a lot. As for myself, I've been feeling a little better every single day thanks to the healthcare people of Utah and Oklahoma City and all the great people around me. As you may already know, I just wanted to make sure to remind you guys to keep washing your hands frequently with soap and water. Try to avoid touching your face, your nose, your eyes, and of course try to avoid making unnecessary contact with people. It's all about protecting yourself and the people around you. I wish I would have took this thing more seriously, and I hope everyone else is going to do so, because we can do it together. Take care and stay safe.
Hello, everybody. This is the Rewind Sports 60. I'm Lauren Cox. That was Rudy Gobert, Utah Jazz's own Rudy Gobert, who we all know was unfortunately diagnosed with the coronavirus. He was the first NBA player to have the virus, and you hear his statements, and we were talking a bit about what he did and, you know, the cataclysmic effect of what happened when he was diagnosed in terms of the league being canceled for 30 days. So I just want to talk to my panel and kind of get an understanding of this impact. It seemed like a domino effect when the NBA decided to cancel 30 games the rest of the season. Everything else started to follow. So, right. Jerry, give me your thoughts on exactly the impact that Rudy Gobert's situation had.
Well, it's obviously a major impact. Obviously, with the games being postponed, canceled, and pushed back, with the playoffs just a matter of weeks away.
Yeah.
It was a major impact, and as we see, a teammate of his tested positive with no symptoms, and then a third NBA player is tested, positive. So, regardless of the perspective of how it was brought out or introduced or presented, it brought light to the world of sports, particularly in the National Basketball Association. And that was, Rudy Gobert making a comment, I think, on his Twitter account, addressing the public and admitting that he made a huge mistake by his careless behavior. But overall, it's made a major impact. And it's interesting because not only the NBA, but of course, we know what's going on with the NFL and how things have been tapered off, and we're still trying to fine line that as far as the draft and, the season and those things. But what it's done to Major League Baseball, National Hockey League, even soccer. We're talking about golf, the Masters being questioned, if they're going to push it back to July, if they're going to push it back to the fall. So even the world of UFC fighting and horse racing, it's taken a hit. They've even closed, Lauren, the sports book in Vegas.
Yeah.
That's how unprecedented it is.
That's huge.
And here's the deal.
Aspects is huge.
When you close a sports book in Vegas, and Vegas, we know the prop bets, they bet on anything.
Absolutely.
On anything. And if they're closing the sports book in Vegas, that shows you how monumental and how serious this issue is.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting. And we are actually going to bring in our wonderful Dr. Lloyd Walton. He's on the TR60 line to talk to us a bit about NBA. Doc, tell us a bit about how things are going and how you're dealing with this cataclysmic event, the coronavirus, and its effect on the NBA and sports in general.
Good evening. How's everyone?
Wonderful. How are you?
What's up, baby?
I'm good. I'm affected the same way everybody else is. I think everybody in the country and around the world has had to push the pause button for a second here.
Sure.
And kind of figure out, what does this mean for me as an individual? What does it mean for my family? What does this mean for my community? And why I say it like that is because you can have the symptoms, you don't even know it, right? The symptoms are not prevalent, and you still could be carrying this disease around. And that's the reason why you see so many different leaders saying, okay, let's kind of shut this down in terms of our restaurants, in terms of our gathering places. I think that's critically important, because if you don't know you have it and you're still going around other people, chances are you're going to actually contact them with the same disease, right, with the same virus.
Right.
It's just very, very unfortunate. This is uncharted waters for all of us, but I think we have to be smart. Just on a personal level, like I'm always told, I always wash my hands, right? Mm-hmm. But I am washing my hands like you wouldn't believe.
Me too, Doc.
You and Q.
Me too, Doc, for real.
You know what I'm saying? It's really crazy, but I don't want to do anything against what I'm directed to do, honestly. I'm going to start limiting my travels. I believe in the social distancing. I don't know what it's going to be like not to go out, right? Or maybe I can go out on the deck and smoke a cigar or something, but I don't want to be one that creates more of a problem than I have to. And if it's staying in for 14 days or what have you, then that's what I'll have to do. It's really crazy, as you guys just alluded to, when Vegas shuts down. But this is the first time I've never been able to come in the house and say I'm ready to turn on some kind of sporting event.
Right.
Of some kind. I don't care what it is. There's nothing on there unless you want to see reruns. So this is a real challenge for all of us, but I think it's an opportunity for us all to make better choices, not just for ourselves, but for our families and our communities, because our health is at stake, not just here, but around the world.
Real quick, let me jump in. And Doc, very, very well said and very well stated. And I got to say this, and I shared this with Q also before the show. Everyone needs to take precaution, and everyone needs to be educated and be smart about their day-to-day goings and comings. But I think, and no community is more important than any other community, but as far as Chicago is concerned, and in particular, in my opinion, the African-American community in the South and West Side, we talked about how this virus is affecting the elderly, okay? I can't go see my mom, right? My wife can't go see her mom because they're in their 80s, okay? But we also talk about people, the young kids, maybe with, respiratory issues or whatever. But they also say individuals with diabetes and high blood pressure and heart conditions.
Right.
And I know that those numbers in the African-American community are very high, maybe extremely high. And if someone is careless or uneducated about this virus, and they're in someone's family and in the hood, as they say, and infect some people, the numbers can escalate in a very rapid, short period of time.
Hey, Jerry, don't forget about this. All the Chicago school children are home.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't be watched by grandma and grandpa. So it's the choices are quite limited.
And that's you make a very, very valid point, because with all the schools closing and they're watched by grandma, and it can really, really get out of hand at a very, very rapid pace.
Absolutely. Doc, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I just want to say that, for me, the real issue is taking this serious.
Right.
This is not a joke, and I hate to bring it back up, but everybody's aware of it now. Just for the NBA, we all saw the video of what Rudy did, and it was just immature. But he didn't take it serious, right? If you take it serious, you can cut off some of this stuff, because it will kind of tell you how to curtail or temper your behavior in terms of where you go, washing your hands that we just talked about, and things of that nature. Not getting too close to someone. If you have to get out, give them that 6 feet that they're suggesting and what have you. This is serious business. And for some people in some areas and some places, they won't take it serious, and that's going to put them at risk, and other individuals that come in contact with at risk. And that's the kind of things that we're trying to curtail with all these different closures and things of that nature. So we have to be diligent in doing these kind of things and following it. It's not going to last forever if we do what we're supposed to do and what's suggested.
Absolutely. And Doc, talking a bit about the playoffs, they are to begin on April 18th. And with this 30-day shutdown, what do you think the impact is going to be in terms of the playoffs? They're talking about, how this could affect the draft, free agency. What are your thoughts if this April 18th deadline comes and we're still in the same predicament?
Hey, Lauren, I don't believe we're going to do anything April 18th. That's my personal opinion. We're talking about trying to limit movement of people, right? So we're talking, Adam said 30 days. I'm looking at 90 days. That's my own personal assessment. It has nothing to do with what I've been told and who I work for. I'm looking at 90 days.
Okay.
We don't even have enough. We don't have enough test mechanisms at this point to even be able to talk about this in terms of 30 days. I'm looking at 90 days, honestly, for us to be able to get enough control on this, have enough people tested, having all the information that we need for us to actually resume play. But I do want to just add one good positive thing about it, is that our players, some of our players have stepped up in a big way, right? You're talking about Blake and Caleb and Middleton and Giannis donating $100,000 to the workers who won't have a job during this period of time, and they're hourly paid. So these people need money to be able to just pay their minimum bills. And these players have stepped up big time, and so is the owner of the Cavs. So, one good thing out of it is that we do have this special kind of affinity for our fellow man and to be able to help them when they're in need. And that's kind of what I look at more than anything else. We're in dire straits, as we all know, but we can come out of this if we do look at each other as human beings and try to help us get through this tough time, period. But I'm looking at 90 days, Lauren, to answer your question. I'm not looking at it's virtually impossible. If you just look at everything that Dr. Fauci tells you, has told me, I'm listening to him every day, about the disease and what we need to do.
Right.
I can't see us being back by April, what did he say, 13th or 14th, something like that? That's 30 days. I don't see that.
Yeah, we got to see. So we actually have a caller on the line.
Hey, thank
caller.
you for calling in.
Oh.
Yeah, we go out to our phone lines from the north side. It's Ed joining us on the Rewind Sports 60. Ed, what's on your mind, man? How are you?
Let me tell you what I say about this. I'm 74 years old, okay? So I'm one of those at-risk guys.
Okay.
I'm not changing one thing in my life. I'm going to shake your hand. I'm going to scratch my nose. I'm going to keep smoking my cigarette.
Let me stay away from you.
And I will tell you why.
Okay, tell us.
Let's say I lock myself up in my house for 30 days. When I come out of there, that little bug is still going to be around. So I'm not going to let my government drive me crazy. If everybody wants to shut down everything, that's up to them. There's going to be no change in my life.
All right.
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good perspective. That's a good perspective. Thanks, Ed.
Keep me away from that guy.
That's a good perspective, Ed. I mean, he got a point, man. Like, what if it is like all about fear, and the government really just got some, a man-made disease? Like, you never know what's going on, man, behind the doors over there. So.
You know what? There's a lot of speculation going on out there. From the point where. Again, some people think that it's man-made and the government is instilling fear in us, and other people think it's the sign of the times.
Nobody's right or wrong, Doc. It's just perspective now. Just perspective.
I mean, that's what's on the.
Okay, let me add something to this. Okay.
All right.
This is a pandemic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys know what a pandemic means. This does not mean in the hood. It doesn't mean Chicago.
Nation.
It doesn't mean Illinois. It means worldwide.
Yeah.
So this thing about the government, so that means you have a worldwide government who's put this out there?
That's true, Doc.
Come on now.
Well said. That's true.
Come on now.
That's true.
Well, hey, Doc, we're just, our job here in WCPT 820 AM, the Rewind Sports 60, is to provide information, try to educate, and inform, whether it's in the sports industry, whether it's in the entertainment world, and we talk, our motto is real sports, real talk, just plain real. We're not saying that this is the case. We're saying that this is the information that's being put out there, and I have to stress it. Everyone, you must educate yourself. Don't overreact until you have the information. And I know that there's limited information out there. I know the communication coming from the highest form of government in this great country of ours, the United States, is somewhat limited to some regards. But you have to take the responsibility with the global situation that we currently find ourselves in. You have to be diligent enough to find whatever information you possibly can to protect yourself, but also to protect your brothers.
Right.
You just have to be a responsible individual.
Yeah.
And it starts by washing your hands. It starts by, just being aware
Sneezing
of your surroundings.
into your elbows.
Exactly. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that as far as your responsibility as an individual.
Well, speaking of, pandemics, I mean, obviously this is a bad one, but, I was doing some history research on pandemics. 1918, there was a Spanish flu before people could fly all over the world, and 500 million people got infected, and it lasted almost 2 years. So I guess we're better off because we have better communication now and better health services. So I'm sure it won't be as bad as that one, but that was the worst one ever. It lasted almost 2 years, the Spanish flu back in 1918. So this will be nothing compared to that, and I think we're going to get this under control. But I believe there'll be no NBA playoffs, no NHL playoffs. And by the way, I feel the worst for amateur athletes who are seniors and really didn't get to finish their careers. There's
high school too.
Yeah, DJ Stewart Young he was going to probably win the championship, and NCAA they lost nearly $1 billion. Not that I feel sorry for them or anything, but I feel sorry for the seniors mostly.
Yeah. Well, I do feel sorry for. You got college students who you have to study online. You got, seniors. Cassius Winston with the Michigan State Spartans. Yeah. His senior year. This guy stayed 4 years to play college basketball, and now his senior year he doesn't. And they had an opportunity to make it to the Final Four, possibly even winning a national championship. But in his senior year, he doesn't get an opportunity to do that. Hey, let's go back out to the phones real quick, Lauren. We got Jeremy calling from New Jersey. Jeremy, are you calling from New Jersey?
Yeah.
Wow, welcome. Thank you for checking in on the Rewind Sports 60 WCPT 820.
What's up, Jeremy?
Nothing. Is this House Park?
Is this what?
Wrong number?
Who you calling, Jerry?
That's the wrong number.
All right, Jeremy, take care, man. Wash your hands, Jeremy. Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Say a prayer for you.
You need a pizza?
Uber Eats.
Go Eagles.
But I like
one more thing to this. Let me just add one more thing here, because I was talking about, I was looking at 90 days, right? So, all of us, you're working for corporations, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, everybody has a line in their contract about force majeure, right? So that's when there's a natural disaster and you can't work, and it's not the company's fault. That means they don't have to pay you. So when you think about all the different industries that we have in this country, at some point in time, they're going to get to the point if this thing lasts 120, right, 160 days, can they still afford to pay their employees? And that includes the NBA. If you can't perform and it's not their fault, then they can implement this force majeure line in the contract says that they don't have to pay. They only be able to pay like 20% of your salary. So this affects everybody economically, period. But I don't think people really look at it like that because everybody is so hopeful.
Right.
I think that we're going to bring this to an end, which I hope to. I want to see basketball. I'm still working with creating programs for our players online and what have you. But because of the pandemic and because of the lines I saw at O'Hare, because people are still coming into this country, you can't tell me this is going to end in 30 days and I'm going to believe you. I hope to God that it does. I can't see a 30-day ending to this. Because the other part of that is people are not taking it serious.
Right.
Like the gentleman that called. Now, that's his personal choice. I don't have any problem with his personal choice. But if you're not going to take this serious and you're still going to be mobile, if you will, then you have the chances of spreading this disease to other people and contracting it if you don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my issue right now. Okay?
Right.
And that's real talk. Okay, this is supposed to be real talk. That's real talk. You're not going to get it if you don't leave the house unless somebody comes into your home. So, I'm kind of quarantined myself. But I got a problem, too, because my wife works at the hospital.
Oh.
She's an executive, right? So, she gives me the lines about what to do and what not to do, but she's going to work every day.
Right.
That's what she does. She's committed to helping other people. That's what her passion is, right? She would love to be able to stay at home, but she made a commitment many, many years ago that she's going to be able to help other people, so that's what she does.
And kudos to those health workers, too. I mean, those health workers are... on the front line, even, people like your wife who work in the hospitals, they're on the front lines and they're sacrificing their bodies, their immunity to care for us and to prepare in the event that, something greater happens than what we're doing now. Right. So got to give a shout out to the healthcare workers. But Doctor, thank you so much, Doc.
Thank you, Doc.
It was phenomenal talking to you today, Dr. Lloyd Walton, our NBA PA senior counselor, and just stay safe. And we will definitely talk to you next week.
Lauren, Q, Dan, Jerry, talk to you guys soon, man. Hey, everybody, wash your hands, sing the song.
Yes,
I got
absolutely.
You, Doc.
Thanks, Doc.
Thanks, Doc. We talk to you, boss.
Be safe.
Be safe. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Well, that was Dr. Lloyd Walton. Just an interesting take in terms of the financial ramifications of this coronavirus and how it's affecting or potentially going to affect the NBA. You're talking about $1.29 million per game in ticket sales. 200 and something odd so games left. The ramifications from a financial standpoint, we don't know what it's going to look like as it pertains to the NBA. But then, if it has to hit the MLB, hockey as well. Jerry, talk a bit about some of the financial ramifications.
Yeah,
to this.
well, they the Golden State Warriors, I think they're the highest priced ticket as far as NBA is concerned. They make on average between $3.6 and $3.9 million per game.
Mm-hmm.
Per game.
Steph Curry.
So yeah, I mean, so that's a sting right there. But financially, right now it appears the sky is the limit, because we don't know how long this is going to go. And you definitely know that these players were... just talk about the players, Q, and you can talk about this as well. You talk about the checks that these players collect weekly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But then you also talk about, the bonuses for playoff teams.
Yeah.
And these players. And a lot of players have incentives in their contract.
Yeah.
As far as bonuses are concerned, that's going to take a major hit.
I don't feel sorry for the NBA, because I'm come from the NFL. They make more money than us. Even the last guy on the bench make a lot of money. So, yeah, I don't really feel sorry for them financially. Because it's not nobody's fault. It's just something we got to deal with as humans. Like, you got to deal with it.
Act of God.
Yeah, like you can't. It's not like, so they should be fine.
Right. And so when you
I'm
talk,
more concerned about the workers.
Right. That's exactly it. Yeah. Because when you talk, because I used to be a vendor here in Chicago, so I worked at all the sporting events. I worked at all of them. And
you selling hot dogs?
I sold hot dogs. I started off selling, pop, soda, however you want to address it. I sold peanuts, popcorn. I sold ice cream, and of course, I worked up to selling beer, and that was, that was big time.
Yes.
And I worked. I'm showing my age now, Lauren, but I worked right now, currently, they shut off beer sales in the middle of the 7th inning, I believe, at the ball games.
Why they do that?
We were able to sell back in the day after the game when patrons were leaving the ballpark.
Oh my gosh.
So we made money hand over fist.
Right. Yeah.
We made money hand over fist. But there are a lot of vendors. I still have friends who are vending. They vend year round, and they make these guys make, pretty decent buck. Mm-hmm. But I thought about them because it's going to affect their livelihood.
Sure.
And you talk about the parking lot attendants, you talk about the concession stands. Right. And again, kudos to Rocky Warts and Jerry Riles for taking care of those people for game day pay. But once the regular season is over, you talk about some 1,200 people who are affected at the United Center. What's going to happen with baseball? Because we already know 2 weeks has been pushed back. Now with a minor league player for the New York Yankees being diagnosed positively with it, that's going to push the season back.
Of course. Back. They're not going to start playing right away after 2 weeks, and it's not going to be 2 weeks after everything's the smoke clears. And
you know what, Lauren, we're not to say goodbye, but I want us to, this is probably the only tribute we can do regarding the NCAA March Madness, because of course Selection Sunday was scheduled for today to announce the 68 teams or whatever. And of course we know as we get to Final Four and that weekend in the national championship, and I believe it's going to be played in Atlanta, right?
It was Atlanta, April 6th, yeah.
And we all know, and we're going to have to talk over this, but it's his tribute to the Fighting Illini, and I thought for sure that the Illinois team had an opportunity to at least advance to the Sweet 16.
And there were 3 teams that were going to be real sleepers. There was going to be Rutgers, San Diego State, and Dayton were all going to make it this year. So it's really sad in that regard. Obviously, the health issue is health issue, but, for me, it's a major withdrawal. I'm going to have to play some board games or something. Video games.
Dominoes, baby.
Well,
Spades.
You'll make it through.
Yeah. But we're going to close out, Lauren, with Luther Vandross and One Shining Moment. But if you want to say your goodbyes, let's...
Well, this is the Rewind Sports 60. I'm Lauren Cox. And for Jerry Riles, Dan Marver, and Quintin Demps, thank you guys. We'll see you next week.
Jackie Demps, what up, baby?
Stay... It's coronavirus.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Don't sneeze on nobody.
Don't touch your face.
But we have to continue to talk over this because...
That's Luther.
Yeah, but this is the Fighting Illini. It's a video montage of the commemorating the Fighting Illini season. Good night, everybody. Do you ever dream of working for ESPN, Fox Sports, Yahoo Sports, CBS, NBC, ABC, or any of the major networks covering sports today? Well, you may be one step closer to reaching your goal. Hi, I'm Jerry Riles, executive producer and host of the Rewind Sports 60. I'm here to give anyone who's interested in learning just a little bit about the world of sports media and broadcasting the opportunity to reach your goal. Let me present to you the Rewind Sports 60 University Introduction to Sports Media 101 online course. This online course will introduce you to the basic fundamentals of sports media and broadcasting. It will give you an inside glimpse on how the business actually works. You'll learn about producing, anchoring and reporting, hosting a podcast, and much, much more. We'll even take you inside an NBA locker room to hear directly from the pros. This online course will open your eyes to a new world and a brighter future, but only if you're willing to learn and put in the work. Now, after completion and certification of the Rewind Sports 60 online course, if you then want to consider a future in sports media and broadcasting, this is your chance to take the next step. This is the online course to get your journey underway. Now, it's not a fly-by-night pipe dream, and I promise you, every penny you invest will definitely be worth it. Guaranteed. Now, to get started, all you need to do is take that first step. And if you're watching this right now, you're certainly definitely ready to begin. So, go to the RewindSports60.com right now to get started. The RewindSports60.com. Click on that button and your journey will begin. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you inside. Thanks for your time. Now, let's get to work.
To the ball game, Hall of Famer Andre Dawson.
All right. Let's hear it from the greatest fans ever. On three. 1, 2, 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back for its root. Root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Hey, let's get some runs. Thank you.